Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that other stuff. Welcome to You Wager This Week, the New Year's Bowl Mania edition. 1 week left of National Football League play as well. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Kwanzaa, and all that other stuff. Festivus. I got a lot of problems with you people.
Airing of grievances.
I got a lot of grievances, starting with the National Football League and their referees. Man, this league really is going to hell in a handbasket. Mark Cuban predicted that the NFL would be on like the brink of extinction in 10 years. And I thought that it was just another dumb thing that Mark Cuban has said in a long list of dumb things that Mark Cuban has said. But starting to look at the grand picture here, the NFL is definitely in a decline. And they got to shake things up. They got to get new referees, new rules. They got to ditch. They got to figure out what a catch is. They need to change the way they broadcast games. It's just 3.5 hours of boredom. It really is. Thank God, man, we've got some bowls. The bowls haven't been great so far, but the bowl's going to get better right now as the teams get better. So I'm Gabriel Morency, sitting alongside the raging redhead, Cam Stewart. Cam, for better or worse, let's start off with the National Football League. 1 week of play left, but the officiating, there's no accountability in this league with the officials. And I don't know, it's like these guys are Supreme Court judges or something, that they're like lifetime appointees.
Yeah.
Like, how many more times are we going to see Stewart, Vinkovic, Morelli, Corrente, Hockley? It's the same damn refs. I mean, I haven't seen a new ref in the NFL in years, man. It's the same clowns every week. They don't know what the hell they're doing, man. They're useless. They're completely useless.
I'll tell you one thing, too. The Buffalo Bills, sure, everyone's, look at it, they lost by 21. Yeah, when Benjamin has that touchdown and they call it a touchdown on the field, and then you see granules of dirt coming up from the turf where his foot is, and it's a touchdown, it changes the whole face of the game. And this is what me and Gabe talk about. You know what? Maybe there's a little bit of a bias, but how the hell did the New England Patriots all the time get the benefit of the doubt from the referees, from everybody? It's an absolute joke. This team's cheating. They should be like the one team in the NFL that the league wants to give it to. Instead, they're like, hey, New England, we love you.
Tom Brady is like he's
a god. He might as well be like, he's the Messiah.
He's the NFL's LeBron James. I mean, what other player in the league do the referees consult with the quarterback before and after every play? It's like, he threw it incomplete, and Tom just looks over it. Come on, man. Come on, come on, throw the flag. I think it comes down to television ratings. I think because Tom Brady is a marketable mainstream guy that's married to Giselle. And, I don't even think Giselle's that hot, to be honest with you. I think she's overrated. But anyways, Claudia Schiffer. That's, you want to talk about German supermodels. Give me Claudia Schiffer over Giselle any day. But the thing with Tom Brady is, Entertainment Tonight, People Magazine, all that type of crap, when they're in the Super Bowl, it gets the mainstream. If it's Big Ben Roethlisberger, how do you sell that?
Yeah, like housewives don't care about Big Ben. They love Tom Brady, though.
Exactly.
That's the way it works.
But it's
it's getting out of control, though.
I've noticed that the NFL has sort of becoming more and more like the NBA over the last couple of years.
It's heading more entertainment.
Yeah. Guys like Beckham, they don't really care about winning, but look at me, sort of like dunkers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys in the NBA, they're all-stars. They don't really care about winning. They care about making money and dunking and looking good. And in the NFL, man.
The NFL doesn't feel real anymore. It feels like wrestling.
Yeah.
It feels like I know what's going to happen before the game, and you have to be on the right side or you don't have a chance. It feels almost scripted. And in a year in which the NFL ratings have really taken a hit, and the last couple of years have been on the decline, this is why they're not doing a Sunday nighter this week. There's no Sunday nighter. They don't want to put any of the game on because they're about the playoff implications. They don't really know what to do, how to handle it, which is ridiculous. But basically, long story short, that's their excuse why there's no Sunday night game this week, because they don't know what game to put on there, which is ridiculous. See, the NFL, you can't figure out, all right, whatever, man. Put an important game on. It's not that hard.
Figure it out. Like, you're telling me there's not a game to put on. You put the Panthers and the Falcons on. There's your Sunday nighter right there. What's wrong with that? They're playing for a division title. What's wrong with that game?
No, nothing wrong with that game. If you don't like that one, you could put a million other ones on there, too.
You could put the Raiders and the Chargers on. People would watch that on New Year's Eve. You put crap on all year, and now suddenly you're like, well, there's no game that really suits the need because the playoffs could be affected or one team. They're giving you all this garbage about why they're not doing a Sunday nighter. You know why they're not doing it? Because they know the ratings would be terrible. And they don't want this because it's New Year's Eve next week. And even college football playoff games didn't draw well on TV on New Year's Eve. That's why they're doing it on New Year's Day this year. So even them, the NFL knows it would be a mockery and it would make them look even worse. So going forward in the playoffs here, I think, Cam, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you don't have a hope in hell. You're going to get every call against you.
Oh, of course you are.
Like they're going to need big markets. Like the best, I'll tell you right now, the best case scenario is Drew Brees versus Brady for them now.
Yeah.
There's no Aaron Rodgers. Do they want Cam Newton? God, no.
Nope.
You know, they don't want Cam Newton in the Super Bowl.
Atlanta, you can kind of say, but nah, not as much as Breeze.
Yeah, but Atlanta's probably not good enough to push themselves even to be helped to get there.
Minnesota, not cool enough. With
Minnesota,
no, but the Super Bowl's there.
It.
That's the thing. If Minnesota wasn't hosting the Super Bowl, you have Case Keenum and the Vikings. You know what? Hey, if you love football, you love that team, but you the Housewives, the other people, Minnesota, they're not really that flashy team, but you know what? They're a great team.
And not to mention the Super Bowl is in Minnesota.
That's what we're saying.
Not the most glamorous place for Mary Hart and the entertainment shows to go to. And, you know, especially put it this way. If the Jacksonville Jaguars end up playing against the Atlanta Falcons or something.
Nobody's watching that Super Bowl.
Bingo.
Ratings down.
And the
NFL.
No, but corporate stuff down.
Yes.
Suddenly, like Coca-Cola is not sending 300 people to the game.
And the NFL, it's been the worst year for the NFL. They need something to save them. So, you know what? Enjoy seeing New England there.
They had the Super Bowl in Dallas and it snowed and it was a nightmare. The corporate guys hated it. It was a big disaster and stuff. You're having this in Minneapolis. It's not going to be good. Listen, me and Karen are from cold weather places, so we're not like ragging on. Look, we're wearing jackets indoors right now. But I mean, Minneapolis, I've been there. It's not like
it's not a place that you really want. I think a lot of people with
besides
money want to be there.
the game itself, you're not like man, Minneapolis is going to be off the hook this week.
And you said
it's going to be freezing, man.
It's not about the game anymore. It's about the sponsors. It's about cleaning up the league. Because the NFL couldn't have had a worse PR year, so they need something to go with a bang.
If you're Giselle and her supermodel friends.
We're in Minnesota.
She's
want to go to the Great Mall?
She's telling her friends, you want to come to the Super Bowl in Miami? They're all there. Like, you know, Jennifer Lopez, big parties and all that type stuff. Minneapolis, people are like, I'm not going to Minneapolis. Right? So where I'm going with this. I think the NFL and the playoffs, guys, we need to bet on the more popular team. That's where I'm going with this. This is what it's come to. It's like the NBA. The NBA, it's very simple. In the NBA, man, you can make money in the playoffs betting on the bigger TV market.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You know, they'll let the Raptors win. Same with the Blue Jays in baseball. They don't mind the Blue Jays winning a round or two. They can't have them on the World Series, on TV in the World Series. Like the same with the Raptors. Like the Raptors will cruise right to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it'll be like the Bills and the Patriots. They'll be playing uphill because it's like, dear God, if the Raptors are on, our ratings are going to get cut in half. We lose half the revenue of the advertising because the game, we don't have the rights in Canada. It's a freaking nightmare for them if the Raptors make it. So they're going to have to fight uphill. But anyways, so we got week 17 of the NFL here right now. Cincinnati Bengals, they actually showed up and played with some pride.
But now,
as a Buffalo Bill fan, I'd like to say that they could beat the Ravens. They're not beating the Ravens.
That's the thing. They had their Super Bowl against the Lions. Now, you know, hey, good on you, Cincinnati. You actually showed some guts in that game.
The Ravens suck too.
The Baltimore Ravens barely beat the Indianapolis Colts. Like, I watched the Ravens and go, if this team makes the playoffs, I'm going to be sick. It's their schedule. I know. It's a joke. Their schedule stinks. But I'll tell you one thing. Cincinnati, the Ravens can't have – I can't believe how this season has helped them out.
Look at my Buffalo Bills, Kev.
They play New England?
We're tied to try to get in the playoffs. Exactly. We're going to play New England. So, okay, Baltimore, you guys do play Pittsburgh twice. You don't think the Buffalo Bills record would be better if we played the Cleveland Browns twice?
Exactly. Or all the teams.
You know what I mean? Like, you look at the Ravens have just been the benefactors of
weak schedules.
But they're a tough team.
They win.
I wouldn't lay 10 points with them. I think the Bengals can hang around.
I don't know.
But the Bengals probably just did their little pride.
That's what I'm talking about. For me, it's the Ravens or nothing because the Bengals had their Super Bowl beating Detroit. I'm going to pass on that game.
We're doing a special live edition of this program. Well, no, live. We're taping it live.
Yeah.
But we sent out the link. So shout out and happy holidays to our boy Talat Cody, who's really Cody. We've got Adam Herrera in the house telling us to screw off, that the Patriots rock. What up, Base Farmer? Yeah, the only thing colder right now than the weather on the East Coast are my picks. Reckless says Cam's looking good with the beard.
I don't know about that. I guess pretty gray, but anyway, no play for Mr. Gray.
All right, we're going to blast through the games. If you guys got a game you want to ask us about, feel free. Okay, so we'll blast through the spreads here. It's only a 20-minute podcast. Cincinnati and Baltimore is 10 points right now. All lines courtesy of UWager. Of course, this is UWager this week. Great prop builder over there. All right, Packers and Lions. Lions laying 7. No way I would trust the Lions laying 7.
No, I don't like the Lions laying 7.
They've been eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, the Packers actually, the craziest thing was their defense actually showed up against Minnesota in that game. Their offense just couldn't do anything. So, not a game that I love. Maybe look at the under. I don't see many points scored in that game.
All right, so we mentioned the Baltimore Ravens. If the Ravens win, they are in. It's very, very simple. If the Ravens win, they are in. For the Buffalo Bills, now the Buffalo Bills are laying 3 points. No,
are you saying David Fales is starting?
No, I was just confirming.
San Jose State's David Fales?
Yeah, he's the backup.
Okay.
Why
not just throw him in there?
Why are you playing Jay Cutler?
That's a great point.
He's not even on your team.
David Fales is a guy that actually one day might have to take some snaps for this team. I would like to put the guy in that. You're right. Jay Cutler's not going to be around. He's going to be in a broadcast booth.
And the Dolphins are eliminated.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And so you're going to play a guy that is
and he's
doesn't even want to be in the league.
Exactly. He's checked out. Why don't you just throw Fales in there? He can fail.
Cutler told people, you know what? After he played that good game on Monday night against the Pats, he told people, you know what? I think maybe I'll do one more year. And it's not going to be in Miami.
Do one more year.
Tannehill is back in Miami. They're not replacing Tannehill.
Cutler's going nowhere. He's not going to be.
So Adam Gase is letting Cutler audition and not care. How is this making your team better? I don't understand.
That's actually a stooge move. I'd start Fales.
So, the Buffalo Bills laying 3 on the road at Miami. So the deal for the Bills is if the Bills win and the Ravens lose, they're in. The Ravens aren't going to lose.
No, they're not.
So then they need the Titans and the Chargers to both lose, which could happen. So first things first, do you think the Bills beat the Dolphins?
Yes.
I'm not so sure. But
I'm not so sure, but they should. Lots of Bills fans go to the game in Miami. Yeah. It's going to be – Miami doesn't have any fans anyway. So
it's early in the week, so we don't know about the quarterback.
Put them on the money line. Put them on the money line.
All right, this is a big game here, Carolina and Atlanta.
I just want to take the 4 points with the Panthers.
So Carolina's in the playoffs. They've clinched their playoff spot. They could win the division. It depends on what happens with the Saints.
Saints, yeah.
Now, the Saints, though –
Saints got a nice matchup against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, the Saints,
they're on the road against Tampa Bay.
Saints are going to beat Tampa Bay.
Yep.
So
Saints division.
So if the Saints win and the Panthers win, the Saints win a division. If the Panthers win and the Saints lose, it's very basically the NFC is kind of simple. The NFC South took over.
They did.
There could be 3 playoff teams.
As we predicted weeks and weeks ago on Red Heat Rage. I said 3 teams.
The Saints and the Panthers are already in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They're just sort of playing this week to see who wins the division. The Falcons get in with a win. But if Atlanta loses and Seattle wins, then your Seahawks make it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Seattle.
So Seattle's story basically comes down to Atlanta. If Seattle wins and Atlanta wins, Seattle's out.
How much is Carolina going to play though when on the road when
they're playing for a division title?
Yeah, but they know the Saints are going to be.
They know they're going to be keeping their eye on the scoreboard. And if it's 17-0 Saints in the first quarter, Carolina could say.
But that game, they're
all at the same time.
Yes,
the NFL.
Smart.
Look, there's only most of the games are at 4:25.
That's actually, they did something smart for a change.
That's why they're saying about the Sunday nighter, because they didn't want a competitive imbalance of one team having an advantage.
Yes.
Let's just say hypothetically one team. Let's say they made Carolina and Atlanta the Sunday nighter.
And you already know the outcome with all the other teams.
Exactly. Yeah. Carolina goes, the Saints already won.
No, Gabe, I'll give them that.
That's
basically out of the 100 things they've done this year, 98 they did poorly.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
They're saying that, and also I think they're about the TV ratings, but also, because imagine that. Let's say the Saints win, then Carolina says, all right, we're out. We don't win.
We're tap out. Yeah, exactly.
That pisses Seattle off.
You think?
Because then Atlanta gets a free game. You know what I mean? Atlanta gets a free win. But they're both going to be knocking heads in this game. Carolina Panthers are getting 4 points against the Falcons. I lean with the Panthers here. I kind of that knockout punch.
I hope they do, actually. I think the Panthers can show up in the game. I can tell you one thing. I'm not laying forward with Atlanta. Gabe, I was on the Saints against the Falcons. A lot of people like the Falcons. I've learned about Atlanta. They're just not they're there, but they're just not the same Falcon team.
I know.
They're not the same
I don't trust them laying forward.
Don't trust them.
And I'll tell you what, Cam, your Seattle Seahawks, as bad as it looked against the Rams, you see Nick Foles on Monday Night Football, the Eagles?
Nick, the Eagles are going nowhere.
They're going to lose that first game.
Actually, I will take whatever the line is. I don't care. I want them to get home field, and I want to take the other team and smash them as my base. Nick Foles, and they should have lost to the Raiders. It was a shame. And the fact that the Raiders almost covered the end of the game on the lateral play was even stupider. Sorry, Philly. That was dumb. Raiders, you should have won that game and not for your stupid turnovers in that game. But anyway, I'm going to say this. Eagles are going nowhere.
Speaking of going nowhere, Dirk Cutter, you're fired.
Bye-bye.
New Orleans Saints -7.5. Jacksonville Jags.
Tennessee has to win that game.
And Jacksonville is locked into the 3 seed no matter what.
That's a problem. I'd probably lay it down with Tennessee.
Jets getting 15.
You know what? The Jets always play the Patriots tight. I think, you know what? I'm gonna do one for old time's sake, buddy. You know what? For what you did to the Bills, Patriots, I'm all in on the Jets. And you know what? Finally, there's going to be some justice. And Patriots, you're not going to win by 16+ points. You're not going to get it done. Jets.
And we talk about meaningless games a lot, but dear God, the Houston Texans and the Colts.
I think we should just not even. I think they should just call the game canceled.
All right, this next game, I've only bet on the Browns twice. And
I told you to stop, dude. It's a bad disease. The Browns are like shingles, man. Get me away from it.
It sucked. I played a pro line ticket,
and they're going to cover 13.5.
I played a pro line ticket, and it would have won. Except the Browns.
I know
it was $500. I can use that nickel right now,
buddy. The Browns cost me about. Remember, I bought a pro line ticket. I was on fire. Every game's right, and I looked at it. Wow, I Cleveland.
The things that they do.
No, honestly, I want a real number. The Browns have probably cost me in profits anywhere between $4,500 and $7,000 this year. I'm like, realistically, that's not even like over exaggeration. They cost me pro lines. They cost me real bets. You can't bet on the Browns game because want to know why? They'll find a way to screw you hard. It doesn't even matter. No, they'll be down. You know what? They'll be down 7, pick 6. Pittsburgh will win by 14.
Even the Steelers back.
I want to take Cleveland pass.
Redskins and Giants.
Actually,
the Giants last stand here. Eli's last home game, maybe.
They tap out pretty easy.
I don't like the game.
Did you see what the Cardinals defense did to the Giants? The Giants are a train wreck.
Vikings are laying 12 to the Bears, but the Vikings are locked into the 2 spot.
I kind of like the 12 with the Bears.
Yeah, but even if they play the backups, it's Teddy Bridgewater. You know, Teddy Bridgewater's a free agent. I was talking about him to Buffalo. Actually, wouldn't be a bad move.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I got to tell you, though, I like Minnesota as a team, but laying 12 against a divisional rival, that's something I don't like to do.
Cowboys and Eagles.
No, I might take the Cowboys there.
This game's meaningless.
I'll tell you, though, I don't care. If the Cowboys half show up in the game, like I'm taking, like, Philadelphia did nothing to impress me. They look awful.
This is a game I will take. Give me the Raiders +8 against the Chargers.
The way, I hope they show up, buddy. I just hope they show up.
They will. Game. No, it's a division rival.
Yeah, that's true.
The Raiders are more popular than the Chargers are in LA. It's going to be like a home game.
One last stand for the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, they'll play tough. They don't like the Chargers.
Seahawks are going to murder the Cardinals and Drew Stanton at home.
Yeah,
they should.
I agree with that. Chiefs and Broncos. Chiefs are locked in.
I couldn't really care less. I don't think that's a great game to bet on. And you know what? I'm actually going to love the 49ers with Jimmy G and +4. Sorry, Rams. The 49ers, they're finding ways. They want to end this season on a really high note. I'm taking the points.
All right, Kev. So this is our last crack. Yep. Next time we speak on You Wager this week, the national championship game will be set. Who's playing? The playoffs are on Monday. All right. So we do this show every Tuesday. So it's on Monday. So we got a couple of minutes here, Cam.
Best bets?
Looking at the bowl games. Let's start off with some of the games, the bigger ones. The Cotton Bowl. I like the USC Trojans a lot.
So do I. I don't want
USC have been money burners all year, but they were big favorites all year, all the time. Now they're getting 7.5 against an Ohio State team. Ohio State generally beat teams because they're faster. And, they're just slicker. They've got 5-star recruits.
USC has 5-star recruits. They're athletes.
You're not going to be faster than a bunch of kids from Compton, from the USC Trojans.
I like that play.
And the thing with Ohio State is they can't throw the ball. So if Ohio State can run the ball down USC's throat, then they'll beat them. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball down their throat. Now, Sam Darnold's overrated, but it's going to be his last college game. I just think they match up well. This isn't a great Ohio State team. If Michigan had a quarterback, they would have beaten them.
I know they would have.
If Wisconsin had a quarterback, they would have beaten them.
I'll take the 7.5.
I got a quarterback now with Sam Darnold.
I'll take that.
And USC are better than Wisconsin and Michigan.
I think USC can win the game outright. I think I'm going to throw a little sprinkle on the money line there. And a game that
And they're not enthusiastic about this game, Ohio State. They will be a little bit more, but Ohio State thinks they got screwed for the playoffs. They were down about it. I remember when the bowl was announced, literally, like they had a live shot. USC had a video of their players.
Yeah,
they were jumping up and down. They were like, man, Ohio State, great tradition. We're so excited for the Cotton Bowl. Ohio State, Urban Meyer was like, well, the season didn't work out the way we wanted, but we'll be ready for the game.
And what do we bet? Motivation in bowl games.
So you get a motivated USC team getting 7.5 points in that game.
The other game that I'm looking at it's going to be on my list is, hey, I have family that went to Washington Huskies. They run them, but Penn State, if they show up, should absolutely blow Washington.
Penn State's going to kill them.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's a game. I'll take a good Penn State team to beat the Huskies.
I agree with Cam on that one. I think Penn State are going to be too much for the Washington Huskies as well. In the Fiesta Bowl, lay the two.
Can't Wisconsin murder Miami?
No.
You like Miami?
Yeah, this is one.
Hey, tell me why. Sell me on Miami here.
This is I was Johnny bet against Miami. I mocked their turnover chain and all that stuff all year long.
It's at the Orange Bowl. Okay.
It's a home game. It's at the Orange Bowl. And Ken, they've had a month. Listen, they were 10-0. It caught up to them. They played in all these emotional games. Virginia Tech, national television. Yep. Next week, they played Notre Dame, national television.
Pittsburgh, Pitt on the holiday.
That was a dangerous game.
We were on Pitt.
And then Clemson, whatever, man. Clemson are the best team in the country.
They murdered them.
Clemson and Miami, they're not on the same level.
Clemson's awesome.
Now Miami have had a full month to regroup, get ready again. They're going to be all fired up. Their pride was wounded. They got beaten down. Their quarterback, what's the kid's name? Fraser. He had problems. He's had a month to get ready right now. And Wisconsin's offense, Cam, has shown me nothing that they're going to be able to just bully and run away. I like the 6 points there. Michigan, South Carolina, depends on the quarterback situation for Michigan. I'm not in a hurry to lay 7 there.
Nor am I.
Central Florida, is this a trap? Are you going to grab the points against Auburn?
I think Auburn's going to murder them.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, think what happened with Scott Frost in Central Florida. This guy's moving on and stuff.
He's coaching a game.
Yeah, but he's not. He's basically a ghost. And when you're on a small school, you have to look at this angle. Those kids really buy into it. They're going to be very disappointed. They know he's leaving. I think Auburn has more. This is one of the games that I want to take the dog. I think Auburn might beat them by 24.
I think, and we've seen in the bowl season, Central Florida played a crappy schedule.
They sure did.
You know what I mean?
They sure
did.
Look
at South Florida, bro. They had their hands full with Texas Tech.
I know.
Man. Like, Texas Tech are a 6-win team.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. Stronger conferences, bowl games. You know, that's what I'm talking about.
They're like a 6-win, 6-win. Central Florida will be fired up. But another thing with Central Florida, too, Central Florida's been talking crap about how they're, Auburn better be ready and stuff like that. Settle down, guys.
Yeah, Auburn will be ready.
Auburn will be ready.
And they'll be ready to punch you in the face and slit your throat.
I wouldn't be talking crap. If I'm Central Florida, like if I was Scott Frost, I'd tell the guys, we want to sneak up on them. Don't run your mouth, man. All right? They're Auburn. They're good.
It's also in Atlanta, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Auburn's played there before. I just think it's a great spot.
You can't hit every bowl game. Michigan State, Washington State. I think your Wazoo's going down.
Wazoo is too flaky. Michigan State should win the game if they show
will run the ball down their throat.
I kind of like Purdue as a pooch.
I like Purdue as a pooch. Right. So playoff games, Cam. This lines that you wager right now.
Oklahoma.
Georgia and Oklahoma. Georgia's the favorite. Wrong team's favorite. Oklahoma's going to beat them outright and easily.
Give me Oklahoma. I think they're going to win the game outright as well. And in the other matchup, Gabe, know what I say? I'm doing the 2-dog shuffle. I'm taking Clemson. 2 dogs for a leash. Clemson can beat Alabama.
They will beat Alabama.
That's right.
They're getting 3 points.
We're getting both dogs. We're taking the Sooners and we're taking the Tigers.
Dabo Swinney is 14-1 in his career. It might be 13-1. I think it's 14-1 now in his career against the SEC.
Yep.
The only time he's ever lost to an SEC team is in a national championship game 2 years ago against Alabama. This is not Nick Saban's best Bama team.
No, it's not.
You know how they're a good team. Don't kid yourself. They're a good team. But you know how, like Alabama all the time, it's like, man, they got 5 guys. Like normally sports books will have a prop up in the first round. Over under Bama players taken, 5.5, 4.5, 6.5. Every year, Alabama's got multiple first-round picks. You notice this year?
Not as many.
You're hearing a lot of hype about these kids? This is more Nick Saban coaching them. They're not running away from anybody. Ridley's a good player. Scarborough really didn't turn out, but he's okay. He's okay.
I like Clemson. I just think they're deeper, better, and they're well coached as well.
Clemson has the best defense in college football by far. All right, they're stacked. Everyone thought Clemson was going to fall off a cliff because Deshaun Watson wasn't there. They didn't realize their defense is loaded, guys. Their defense is stacked, carrying them. Kelly Bryant's a good quarterback.
He is.
He stepped in for Deshaun Watson. Dabo Swinney's probably the best coach of college football right now, along with Nick Saban, obviously. I just think offense, defense, confidence. A lot of teams go into it's sort of like a fighter. You go into a ring thinking, I'm not beating Mike Tyson. I'm not beating Conor McGregor. I'm just happy to be here to make the money. That's not the deal with Clemson. Clemson are going on
all
the
or
field.
nothing.
They're not intimidated by Alabama.
No,
they're
actually they look forward to playing Alabama.
They're like, we'll beat these guys again. Like
I'm with you.
They're confident. I think we're looking at a Clemson-Oklahoma game, and that's going to be a hell of a game.
I agree with you 100%. Both dogs in the big games.
Yeah, I love these bets.
So do I. Actually, I think Oklahoma might kill Georgia.
And I don't know. I can't sit here right now and tell you who would win between Oklahoma and Clemson. Tough game.
I kind of lean Oklahoma.
I know.
No, actually, what? There's something about Baker Mayfield in Oklahoma. We'll see.
I know. It's going to be something about Dabo Sweeney.
I know. Dabo's smarter than people think. It's true.
Yeah, you think he's not because his name
is
Dabo.
He's got that, man, I'm kind of Dabo Sweeney. I know, but you know what? Dabo knows stuff. He knows
Dabo knows how to scheme, man.
He does.
I said it before, and I'll say it again, but they wouldn't do it. But if I was the Houston Texans, I would go out of my way. I just offered Dabo like $10 million a year.
Yeah,
come to the NFL.
Buy Bill O'Brien. It's been a slice.
But to be honest with you, Dabo Sweeney is more of a college guy. Yeah. He's a raw guy. The guy reads Bible verses to the players before.
Yeah, they get fired up.
All right, that stuff doesn't fly in the NFL. The raw stuff doesn't work in the NFL.
Nope.
F you pay me works in the NFL.
Correct.
Well, Cam,
yep.
Great times.
Love you, buddy. Hope we have a happy New Year, everybody. Hope we win some units and. You wager, you said it. If you play props, this is your book. You can build them, do whatever you want with them, and make some serious units.
Oh, great prop building.
That's what I'm talking about. Best props in the business. You told me, like, you can build those props up and just make tons and tons of dough.
All right. So the prop builder is great. You got all the bowls up and
everything's
running.
up.
It's www.uwager.eu. It's a little early in the week right now, so we'll be crunching down these games. We'll have our best bets. Check us out on the Fantasy Sports Television Network later in the week and on the radio network later in the week. And we're going to hammer down our best bets for all these games. But I'm not changing my mind. I love Oklahoma, and I love Clemson in these two games.
I agree with you 100%, buddy. I'm on both dogs.
All right, guys. So Happy New Year. May the winners be yours. Happy New Year to everyone over at UWager. It's a great book. It's a pleasure to host the podcast. For you guys, can't wait for the NFL playoffs. Can't be worse than a regular season,
exactly.
Right? Can't be worse than a regular season. And next week on the show, we'll talk some NFL futures.
Ooh, I like that.
The playoff bracket will be set. Other than that, you're on your own. May the winners be yours. Happy New Year, guys.